everybody! How are we all? Yeah, we getting ready for a good night of clean comedy, clean, good, honest, sober comedy. I want to hear some more enthusiasm than that. Come on. Damn straight. I love this. I love the idea of this. So basically, High Sobriety is a night where we've got basically sourced all the acts have been through alcohol or drug addiction recovery and are still on the journey, as we all are, through life. And they're going to be performing for you tonight. I did go with the name at High Sobriety. I was thinking of going with the name How to Fuck Up Tradition 12 with one sweet poster. But, yeah, well, it's a damn good poster as well, actually. I am quite pleased with that. But yeah, it's wonderful to see so many people here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Me, myself, I am a year and a half free from the drink. Yes. A very arduous task. I'll tell you about that first day of sobering up. I woke up on a kitchen floor with a Slovakian couple arguing in the next room. Three things spring to your mind in that moment. One, are they arguing because of me? Two, who decorated this kitchen? It's gorgeous. Three, am I in Slovakia right now? Because it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility that I got shit-faced drunk, walked over to East Midlands Airport and fell asleep on one of the luggage carousels. Only thing is, when I'd have come through that luggage terminal on the other side, I'd have been covered in spunk. Do you want to know why, Nottingham? Because I come with a lot of baggage. That's it. If you've got a ropey punchline, just hammer it home with a fist bump. That's how it works. Oh, bless you, bless you. I mean, this is a wonderful gig. We've got Faye at the front here. How are you today, Faye? Yay! A quick, swift thank you and fuck off, don't talk to me. I love it because a lot of the people in this room are people who are very willing to share at meetings, but as soon as an MC at a comedy gig starts talking to them, it's like, shut the fuck up and move on to somebody else. We've got Craig here. How are you, Craig? I haven't seen you in ages. Nice, nice. Craig obviously went to comedy night recently. One of my mates who was the MC there started talking to Craig, didn't realise you'd got a fake leg, and then comedy ensued. It's, how are you feeling? Are you all good at the moment, man? Nice. What, you're not drinking? Is that... He's got his hand on the hand sanitizer as if he's nursing that drink. Oh, bless you, bless you. This is going to be absolutely bonkers, this is. Right, I do want to announce to you that Jason has asked me that for the rest of the show, can you try and refrain from getting noisy drinks? When people are performing. On the breaks, because we're going to have 2 breaks, about 20 minutes long, get cappuccinos, order that one virgin cocktail called the fire alarm, where you go and hit that red button as soon as you down it in one. That's the time to do it, on the break, no other time, please. Oh, this is it, this is it. It's a beautiful gig. Oh, it's a lovely couple in the front. What's your name, sir? John. How are you, John? Looking good. Are you the kind of person, John, do you wear shorts all year round, or is it a special summer thing? Oh, bless you. I dress like a formidable tramp all year round, so I've never toyed with the idea of wearing shorts like a refined gentleman such as yourself, John. And who are you here with tonight? Cara. Hello, Cara. Absolutely wonderful dress. I love it. I love it. Is that pineapples? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That appeals to the foodie in me. Because trust me, when it comes to alcohol addiction, I've just swapped it for an addiction for calories. Which I think a lot of people can relate to here. Cordy's nodding his head over there. Mr. Cordwell, how are you, sir? Nice one, nice one. It's good to see you looking healthy. Although you are wearing a cap that makes me feel like you're undercover. It's all right, man. Just let it all loose. You know what I mean? Hey, there we go. Right, so just to give you a bit of a rundown, we've got 3 sections. So we're going to have 3 acts for you. In the first section, we're going to have the wonderful Kathy Giddens. Way! Then we shall catch ourselves a lovely 20-minute break, and then I shall bring on the second section with 2 acts on for you. We've got Ian and Ben. Woo! And then we'll have another break and your final act in the last section. If you want to talk to anyone, talk to me. I'm desperate for conversation most of the time. But when the acts are on, try not to talk amongst yourselves. If they say something really funny, I don't know, think about it and talk about it later on. Most of the stuff that you'll hear tonight will be on the edge of being the kind of stuff you'll end up coming back to later going, oh, fucking hell, that was really, really powerful stuff. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my ways forever. Right, so I think I've done enough talking, haven't I? A quick, short, machine gun fire style that I have. I will finish this one section on with one thing. I was 2 years old when I got kicked in the head by a horse, right? Cordy knows it's true because he comes from Old Fritton. I was in the Chad newspaper. And I almost died again sniffing glue as a teenager. Fair play to that horse trying to kill me twice. Especially considering the second time round he must have been well knackered. Here we go. Right, now we're going to bring on the next act. So when you'll put your hands together for the wonderful Kathy Giddens.
I'm not a homeless man with holes in my shoes. Don't have a red face or a Wi-Fi abuse. But I'm an alcoholic, yes, I'm an alcoholic. I don't look like one, but I'm an alcoholic. So that's just a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Kathy. Lovely to be here, or Cosmic Cat, as I'm known now in the comedy world. Cosmic, because I always felt like I'm from another planet, still trying to find my place on Earth. Cat, great name for me. Fucking love cats. Actually obsessed with them. Some would say addicted, although it's a healthy addiction. Nobody ever died from being addicted to cats. Except, of course, if your cat smothers you in your sleep by lying on your face or something. Just putting that fear out there for... everyone who owns a cat in here scared to go to sleep tonight. That's what I want to achieve. But no, a lurophile, that's what you call a cat lover. And I really think that I put the lure into a lurophile because when I'm walking down the street and I see even the hint of a cat from the corner of my eye, I'm right down there trying to lure it over using the time-tested method of 9 times out of 10, the cat will ignore me and just walk away, which pretty much is the same experience I have when I'm trying to make friends with humans. See, I told you, it doesn't work. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I am an alcoholic, although don't worry, because I'm sober now and I don't drink anymore. It would be kind of weird if I was an alcoholic who was still drinking and really proud of it, like, I'm slowly dying, destroying everyone's life around me, and it's great. But no, I don't drink anymore because I like to play to my strengths in this life, and I must say that I am not very good at drinking. Although, I suppose in some ways you could say I am good at drinking. I'm so good at drinking, I got to retire early. I'm like the Bjorn Borg of drinking. Okay, a few tennis fans in, that's good. Except my last Grand Slam ended in a trip to hospital, being sick in my own handbag. Because I'm classy like that. I'm still just as clumsy, as you can see. Being sober has not reduced the amount of times that I fall over on a daily basis. No, I must say, I really like being sober. There are 2 distinct advantages, though, to being an alcoholic. And the first is that I have a lifetime sponsorship deal with Jack Daniels. As you can see, sobriety hasn't stopped me slurring my speech either. It's pretty much the same, except I have less hospital admissions and people like me better. The second advantage is this song that I'm going to sing for you because it would not exist if I didn't have a drinking problem. A little bit of background context. My drinking career really took off when I went to university, as it does for a lot of students. And I was meant to be going on a night out, but I decided that it was reasonable to drink 2 bottles of wine before I left my halls. And needless to say, I didn't make it to the club. I got to the point of taking out some money, and then my friends were like, no, you're totally wasted, we need to take you home, and they half carried me home. But on my way home, I witnessed this man committing this horrible crime in the middle of the street, this gross act of public indecency, and how I meted out my own form of cosmic justice was to just sing a song at him. And it just came straight from the heart. I completely improvised. I made it up right there and there on the spot, and it was beautiful. But I was in blackout, so I couldn't remember any of it the next day. Luckily, though, my friend Izzy was there to witness it, and she told me about it, so I'm going to sing it for you now. When I was walking home one day, after a night that was pretty crazy, I didn't even reach the club, just got to the cash machine. But on my return, I witnessed such a scene. A man urinating against a brick wall. So I sang, pissing against the wall is not that classy. Pissing against the wall is not that cool. You may have pissed against the wall, but you are not the king of all. I never will be. I accosted him in the street. That kind of thing just shouldn't happen in Nottingham. I don't know why he couldn't just find a toilet. He tried to pull up his fly, but the zip was stuck. So I chased him away, singing, pissing against the wall is not that classy. Pissing against the wall is not that cool. You may have pissed against the wall, but you are not the king of all. I never will be. No, you're never gonna get anywhere if you're pissing against walls. So don't do it. Don't do it. Don't piss your life away. Don't do it. Yeah, I like to think that one carries a strong social message, and I encourage you to sing it at anyone that you see pissing against the wall on the street. I still do, and it's so much fun because you see the guy, they're usually drunk, and they're just like, what? How much did I drink? Am I on crack? Why is this girl singing at me? I had a couple of difficulties when it came to finding my way into recovery. The first was that I'm quite young, and when you're a young person, it's generally accepted, nay, encouraged for you to drink your body weight in alcohol and just let off steam and have a good time. And, you know, if you listen to most classic clubbing songs on a night out, they're always along the same vein of like, we're gonna go really hard tonight, gonna drink and party till we die, shoot heroin into our eyeballs, who cares about tomorrow? Another difficulty that I found was that I'm Irish, so people just expected me to be really drunk all the time. And when I was on a night out, they'd be like, oh, you're Irish, have another drink, have another drink, have another drink. You can take it, but I really couldn't. Also, you know, I could be, if you saw anyone else doing the things that I did, you'd be like, you've got a problem. But I could be, you know, running down the street naked, grinding on your best friend, and you'd be like, oh, isn't that nice? That's part of her culture. So I wrote a little song that is an ode to specifically the Irish alcoholic. If you're an English alcoholic, sober up and see the light. But if you're Scottish or Irish, it's your birthright. I don't really know where the Welsh stand. I think they're more into drugs. But the Irish pride themselves on being fighting drunken thugs. Oh, fiddly-dee, fiddly-dee, have another Guinness on me. Forget about the fact that Seamus wrecked his car around a tree. On the road, don't say no, slancha, let the whiskey flow. Your liver's failing, but you're not to worry, that's how it goes. On St. George's Day, you might just have a quiet pint. But to celebrate St. Patrick, we get steaming day and night. He drove the snakes out of Ireland, we drive our morals out with drink. Because living up to stereotypes is easier than you'd think. Oh, fiddly-dee, like leprechauns, we're wild and free. Been drinking whiskey from the bottle since we were the age of tree. So fill up your cup and shout your mouth from County Down to County Louth. A drunkard and a waster is all you'll ever be. Cause if you're an Irish alcoholic, it is your destiny. Woo! I have to say, one of the things I was worried about when I got sober was that I wouldn't be fun anymore. I was like, oh, I'm going to be so boring when I go to parties. And it really wasn't the case at all. You know, I actually found that sober people have a lot of fun. Sober people are great at throwing parties, especially recovering alcoholics and addicts, as you can see from tonight. Great party. I actually, when I was a couple of years sober, I went to a convention in Lithuania, which was specifically for young recovering alcoholics. Although, ironically, regrettably, while I was there, I did end up having a White Russian. It was a simple lapse in judgment. It was just so convenient. He was right there below me in the bunk in the hostel. If you haven't already been able to tell, I am pretty mental. I'm more up and down than the value of the pound. And as you can imagine, this makes relationships pretty difficult. I haven't been very lucky in love. You know, I think I've had longer relationships with toothbrushes than I've had with men. And you know, I think that's why God made me bisexual, because something went wrong in manufacturing, and then he tried to correct it by being like, okay, she's really going to struggle to find love. I think she's going to want to cast the net wide. You know, girls, guys, whatever, she'll have them. Yeah, going through breakups are really, really shit. Especially if you're sober, because you don't have anything to numb the pain. So I have a little song that is for anyone who's ever been through a breakup, currently going through one, may go through one in the future, just so you're prepared. You're sitting in a dark room, listening to Total Eclipse of the Heart on repeat. Then you turn around, put on a rom-com and shout bullshit at the TV. Then your friend calls you up and says, why aren't you at work instead of taking the week off for crying? My heart is so broken, I feel like I'm dying. But then your head says something like this: why don't you just get over it? You clearly it doesn't matter. Don't eat too much ice cream or you will get fatter. There's plenty of fish in the sea, but maybe not for you. What about a lobster? Hey, with that too. Why don't you just get over it? You didn't like him anyway. Maybe it's easier if you believe it here, you're secretly gay. Rejection's like a kick in the balls if I had them. So now I'm gonna cycle through angry, sad, lonely, angry, happy, sad, and back again. You're stalking him on Facebook and wondering if he's doing well. Then you punch a wall, eat a hash brownie, and deep dive into despair. Dye your hair a different color and go undercover, catfishing him on Tinder. You make a voodoo doll and set it on have to say, though, I have recently acquired a boyfriend. I'm going out with a really nice guy. Although on our first date, I did have my reservations. I booked a table for us for two at Zizi's. But no, we were sitting in his living room having a really chilled time, drinking a cup of tea, and out of the blue, he just goes, "So what do you think about anal sex?" I was like, God, that's a bit full on, isn't it, for a full date, for a first date? Not a full date, a first date. Not a full date. You know, I thought, no, I'm going to push through, I'm going to persevere, because I really like this guy. No ifs, no buts. My boyfriend, he's obsessed, actually has an addiction to trains. Again, a healthy addiction to trains isn't going to kill you, unless, of course, you step out in front of one. So I've had a really nice time. I'm going to leave you with one last quick song, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I ain't got no money, lost my keys and my shoes, 'cause I drink to mask all my underlying issues. When I invite myself to bars, I just can't refuse. Now I'm singing the blackout blues. I woke up at a stranger's house, I pissed the bed, 'cause I lose all bladder function when my whistle gets wet. That's just another item on my list of regrets. Now I'm singing the blackout blues. What happened last night? Who did I offend? A text from my friend just says you are a bell end. I think I'm concussed, I'm dizzy as a dying badger. That's just how I roll. From disaster to disaster. But maybe there's another way. Wait, I've still got some whiskey left, okay, not today, but I swear someday soon I'm gonna change my ways. I'm tired of singing those blackout blues. I woke up in hospital, oops, I did it again, but this time I swear this rodeo has to end. So I rang a helpline and I made a friend. Now I'm singing a sober tune. I kicked the bottle, not the bucket before my time. Used to fantasize about drowning in a vat of wine. Now I walk 12 steps in a fairly straight line. Don't waste all my money on booze. Yeah, don't wake up black and blue. It's when I fall over easily bruised. Yeah, don't miss those blackout blues. Thank you, everybody. I've been Cosmic Cat. Have a lovely evening.
Cosmic Cat, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing stuff, fantastic. Oh, I liked your full day claim at the end. I was like, full day? Is that like a full English breakfast? Right, well, we're going to catch a lovely 20-minute break. Get yourselves your noisy drinks in. This is where he starts putting fireworks in the top of them. I'm going to be really impressed with you, Jason, if you pull that off without any injuries whatsoever. Right, we shall be back in 20 minutes, yeah? Oh, nice elongated break. Did anyone get any of those noisy drinks? Woo, yeah, just one person. Snap, crackle, and pop of all the drinks. Let's not say crack. Well, bless you, bless you. As we all know, I used to have a problem with alcohol. I had a problem with drugs as well. But then I found God. I'm what they call a crystal Methodist. Sorry, I'm not going to apologise for these jokes. They're what I've written. They're what you're going to get. But I had a serious problem. You know you've got a problem when you're naming drinks like cocktails like Fukushima. It's 1 part special brew drank through a glow stick. I used to see adverts on TV for super fast broadband that used to be like, switch to super, and I'd open a can of special brew and say, well ahead of you, pal. Way ahead of you. But I think the culmination of all my drinking came to a head when I got taken into a room with 2 people from HR at work in my office, and they sat me down, and it's basically I stank of booze, but they couldn't say that, could they? They had to do that wishy-washy managerial thing of, is there any problems at home, Tommy? Is there anything that you want to tell us about? Any problems that you've got at home? And I'm like, shit, yeah, Helen, I got the kitchen's fucked, my shower's not working. Could really do with some help in the garden, to be honest with you. She's like, no, Tommy, I can tell you've been drinking. I can tell that you've got, you've been drinking, you've come in. And I says, I haven't, and she couldn't prove anything. But instead of giving me a disciplinary for drinking at work, which I blatantly was, she gave me a written warning for hygiene. I mean, for one, that's pretty harsh, because I told her my shower's fucked. But 2, it's like doing Al Capone for tax evasion instead of murdering people in the face. It's bullshit. But I'm going through the 12 steps. I've gone through the 12 steps. I'm on the other side. I'm still recovering. And isn't it a fucking awesome thing, everyone? Let's give it up for the 12 steps. This is it. My girlfriend gave me a Fitbit for my birthday. I only need to count 12 steps before my day's done. That's what I love. That's what I love about it. But one of the things that I had real trouble with was meditation, because meditation, it keeps you linked in with your higher power. And my God, my mind likes to wonder. I used to, because I do meditation and I get these thoughts spring into my mind, like, if a vampire bites someone without teeth, do they then have to go around gumming people? Weird thoughts like that. So I started listening to a lot of those YouTube videos about meditation. So, you listen to them and it's like, concentrate on the balls of your ankle. Concentrate on your feet. Now feel your mind going up to your calf and Di-Zerona on the rocks. Drink Di-Zerona with your friends. And I'm like, shit, I've not got ad blocker on. But it's one of them things. I'm gonna lower the tone. I'm gonna lower the tone. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but who here likes to have a cry and a wank? Yes, that man over there. Ian likes to have a cry and a wank. Do you ever like to have a cry and a shit? Might be a particularly painful shit. Yeah, damn straight. And do you like to have a shit and a wank at the same time? I know I do. Now, who here has tried doing all 3 of those things at once? That guy over there, we call it doing the triple, or as I call it, a crying shit wank. And it's really hard to do. I'm sorry to lower the tone here, Nottingham, but it's really hard to do because you've got to concentrate on keeping that erection where it needs to be. You need to be upset enough to let the tears come through, but you also need to concentrate on that shit as well. And doing all 3 of those things at once, and I got so close to the climax of all 3 things, and then wouldn't you believe it, toilet door got kicked open, there's my manager, 2 people from HR. The worst thing is they tried to do me for not washing my hands properly. All right, I think I've lowered the tone enough. Are you ready for your next act, Nottingham? Awesome bells, right, let's give it up for your next act this evening. It's Ben Verhoeven!
Now then, I never quite know what to do with this hand. So when I first started doing this, oh, there's the mic. When I first started doing this, I was a bit bit desperate. I used to sort of clench it like this, sort of, please find me funny, please laugh at my jokes, I'll be your friend. So yeah, that didn't stay up there for very long. Then it sort of went down here for a little while. But this is kind of a bit of a weird cowboy vibe, I think. Just kind of, hey y'all, want to hear some jokes? I don't know where that cowboy's from. I think the worst one was when I had my hand sort of back here. I was trying to hold my trousers at one gig, and I'd lost a bit of weight, probably because I've been drinking too much, and I hadn't eaten for about 3 days. And I was trying to hold my trousers up, and someone said to me, "You do realise that you look like you're trying to finger yourself while you're doing this gig?" Sort of just stood there like, "Oh, that's cool. That's a new one. I have to go and see a doctor about that on Monday." But yeah, so I'm an estate agent. We haven't got time for all of you to hate me this evening for that job. But I'll leave my email address by the front door, and you can just send me a hate mail next week. Yeah, I'm an estate agent, and yeah, it's like most estate agents. They're quite sort of suave. They're quite sophisticated. I am the most socially awkward person you will ever buy a house from. I was doing a viewing recently, and we were chatting, and these guys were like, "So, have you got kids? Like, do you ever want kids?" And I was like, "I'm not really feeling the kids anymore. I'm just not feeling the kids." And yeah, I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. You better strap yourself in, because this shit gets worse. Now, most people would be like, "Oh, yeah, bathroom just over here. Yeah, we'll just move on from that one." But I went a step further, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm not really feeling the kids anymore, because I think that's illegal now, isn't it?" And yeah, so kitchen, just. Oh no, you're leaving, are you? Okay, cool. Right, yeah, goodbye. Yeah, hi, is that the complaints department? Yeah, just to let you know, Mr. and Mrs. Parker, they may be a bit upset, so just giving you a heads up, I may have just told a joke about touching kids. So just thought I'd let you know about that one. Yes, I know I am coming in for the disciplinary about not describing a basement as a little bit fritzily next week as well. So we'll just tie that in as well at the same time. But yeah, P45, yeah, okay, bring that as well. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I'm glad that I don't drink on the job anymore. I mean, I think the worst drinking I ever did on the job it's quite hard, like, when you're drinking and selling houses, because I actually sold 2 houses in blackout drunk, and I had no idea who I'd sold them to. So I had to go through the phone records the next day, and I was like, was that before I was drinking the red wine on the way to work, like it's a fucking fruit shoot, or was that in the afternoon? Oh, it was after the Jack Daniels. Yeah, I remember now. And it was, yeah, it's not fun drinking as an estate agent, but I'm glad I don't drink anymore. I think some of the worst drinking I did was actually on a stag do. And as a forfeit, I had to wear a cow costume, which is fine. Like, I loved it because I got a lot of attention. I'm a massive slut for attention. If I was a girl, I'd be terrible, to be honest. I really would. Yeah, I had to wear this cow costume as a forfeit. And I went to the toilet, I had a few drinks, and I'm stood there at the urinal with my, can I say cock? Am I too posh for cock? Like, is that, no, I don't, I mean, I don't know. God, that sounds even worse, doesn't it? Just like, fucking, is that how it works on, like, Grindr? Just wandering around? Is this too posh? You want some glitter on this? No? No? Okay, cool. I don't know, I'm not gay. I don't think I'm gay anyway. I don't quite know where I'm going with this now. Oh, yeah. Cow costume, that was it. So yeah, I've stood there at the urinal in my cow costume, and I'm ready to, I've got I'll call him a member, got my member in my hand, ready to relieve myself, and I start pissing, and nothing's coming out. And I'm like, I've got some sort of internal bleeding going on here. And I looked down and I realised that I actually had a synthetic cow udder in my hand, which I was aiming at the toilet bowl. Now, most people would be like, "Oh, fucking hell, this isn't good." But I went, "Oh, no, it's okay. That's why there's piss leaking into my right shoe. I've accidentally mistaken my penis for a cow udder. Happens to the best of us. Silly me." Yeah, that was an interesting one. I think, actually, no, this is just turning into a massive confession, by the way. I hope that none of this is being recorded for training and monitoring purposes, because I think, no, this probably was the worst drinking, actually, is when I went to a wedding, and weddings are usually full of sort of happiness and joy, and most people come away with a sort of warm, fuzzy feeling. I came away with a black eye and mild concussion. And this was because there was a couple there who, they'd been openly cheating on each other, and I decided after a few drinks that qualified me as a full-time marriage counsellor. So I sat them both down. And I was like, come on, guys. You know, I was almost tempted to start singing Can You Feel the Love? I sort of had a bit of a chat with them. And my memory gets a bit hazy here because I had a few drinks. In the end, it was just her sat there. And I think you can probably see where this is going. So any sort of respect that you had for me is about to go. I was just sat with her, and I was like, right, Ben, you mustn't kiss her. You absolutely must not kiss this girl. And I have a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde personality. And by this point, like, Jekyll's tried his best. He's tried to put them back together. He's tried to counsel them out of this. And in the end, it was actually her that kissed me, which I'm not proud of. But this new union wasn't meant to be, unfortunately, because her husband's friend came round the corner. It is a bit oof, yeah. And he was very upset, which is understandable. And he expressed his displeasure with a headbutt just below my right eye. And as I went down, I remember looking up at him in a sort of pool of confusion and guilt. And I was feeling pretty bold, and I said, I don't think that wasn't really your fight to have, was it? It's not your girl. And he went, well, it's not your fucking girl either, is it? That was an awkward one. But I'm glad I found recovery. I'm glad I'm sort of back in the boat. Some people think that AA is a cult, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But do you know what? We cause far less harm than a lot of other cults in the world. So I think fair play to it. I still struggle with people that don't drink. I know that sounds a bit weird coming from a recovering alcoholic. But it's people that have never really dipped their toe in the water. They're the ones I struggle with, especially at parties, because they come up to me and they're like, oh, I don't drink. We've got something in common. And I'm like, no, mate, we have not got anything in common. I have been to the dark side and nearly didn't come back, and you've not even got off the boat. We have not got anything in common. And they usually eat kale and don't drink orange juice because it's got too much sugar. And I'm like, okay, we'll have a conversation. It's going to be a short one. I say to them, why don't you drink? And they're like, oh, because I just don't like the loss of control. And I'm just like, yeah, pussy. And then they ask me why I don't drink. And I'm like, fucking hell, how long have you got? I don't drink because of the voices that I hear in my head when I drink. I don't drink because of my reckless driving. I don't drink because I got the nickname Black Eye Ben at a wedding once. And that usually finishes off the conversation pretty well. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much.
Ben Verhoeven! Come on down. Right. So, are we ready for the next act? I want more enthusiasm than that. I said, are we ready for the next act? Well, welcome to the stage, the wonderful Ian Peskett!
Good evening. I suppose you're wondering why I gathered you all here. I wanted to talk to you about my favourite subject, which is me, of course. Now, I've not always been the respectable, presentable man that you see before you today. Many of my jokes will reflect that. Some of them may be deemed unpalatable. Viewer discretion is advised. It's been a weird day, man. I opened my bin this morning and a wasp flew out. I was mortified. I mean, what kind of sick fucker throws a wasp in the bin? I came downtown. While I was walking through the square there, I thought I spied my doppelganger. And I went bounding over, ready to introduce myself to this handsome fella. Got there, it weren't even him. It was just some bloke who looked like him. And bam, jackpot. I chanced upon a bowl full of money. Scooped it up, went on my way, then some bloke with a guitar started chasing me. I thought, it's too much for me, man. I need to go home. I need to calm down. I thought, I'll treat myself to something nice to eat. One of my friends told me recently that, you know, if you want to know whether pasta's done or not, you throw it at a wall. You know this? Fucking lasagna ruined. So allow me to introduce myself. I should have probably started with that, shouldn't I? My set's a bit like a Tarantino movie. It starts in the middle and works its way around, eventually to a point, much like how Eightful Eight didn't. So my name is Ian Peskett. Not a lot of people know that. I mean, growing up's hard, isn't it? Yeah? That's why we never did it. It's made it even harder having an unusual surname. I got a lot of shit from the kids at school for my name. It was unreal. I'd be walking down the corridors, I'd hear chants like, pet shit. It's not very nice, is it? Yeah, I feel it's funny. I get Biscuit. It's a bit more friendly, a bit more acceptable. Piss Tech. That's my gym teacher. He had a point. And Knobhead. Some of the less imaginative members of my class not wanting to miss out on the fun. Growing up without my dad about as well, that weren't easy. And no one to give me the talk. You know, the birds and the bees. I used to hear people talking about it, but I didn't know what they're on about. I thought, well, I need some information. Where am I going to find it? So I had a little ponder. I thought birds, bees, nature. Cool. So I went out and had a little look. And I see how bees operate in the wild. And I see a worker bee taking pollen from one plant to another, pollinating it and helping to reproduce. I thought, well, how's that apply? That's like me running around the street with a handful of my own jizz, throwing it at people like multiple MIGs out Silence of the Lambs. That shit's going to get me nicked again. I thought, that can't be right, man. I had a closer look at the inner workings of a hive and I see a female, a queen. She'll take on 100, maybe 1,000 lovers in the lifespan, give birth to maybe 10,000 offspring. I thought, I know some families like that on my estate. It's all starting to make sense to me now. So I'm 36 now. No, I'm not, that's a lie. I'm 39. I wrote this bit when I was 36. It's like I'm desperately trying to cling on to my youth, but not misguided enough to believe I could pass for 20-odd. So I'm 34 now. And I never thought I'd live this long. I had a midlife crisis at 14. And getting with a girl off my age at that point weren't appealing, so I went out and got a really big skateboard. I grew up in a tin pop town in the middle of nowhere. It used to be a one-horse town, but the locals melted it down for glue to sniff. Whatever gets you through the day. They even had a tin pot to keep it in, that was handy, wasn't it? I was out one day on my skateboard, knocking kids and buses flying, when I had a sobering thought, after the glue wore off. I thought, I don't know anybody who's left this town and not been on a Group 4 bus. That's not good, man. I'm doomed to go to prison. I'm too pretty for prison. Don't look at me like that. And it was about that time I found drugs, because glue weren't cutting it anymore. Any heroin users in? Yeah. Fuck my jokes up. It's always the quiet ones. Edit him out, won't you? I'll test your piss later, you know that. But you know, like drugs, like they're demonised every day in the media, this war on drugs, but I learned a lot from taking drugs. I mean, cannabis was brilliant. It taught me about delayed gratification. I remember sitting there, blazing away, basking in this sense of achievement and getting a real self-esteem boost, just thinking about all the good shit I'm going to do tomorrow. And ketamine was great. I had some mind-expanding moments, secrets of the universe unlocked and presented to me on a plate. Also taught me about diligent record keeping, because I couldn't remember none of the fucker when it wore off. Cocaine taught me how to do fuck all, but really fast. Half productivity overnight, that shit did. And heroin taught me about determination, grit, and steel. Steel, I had to do that a lot, because that shit's expensive. So I found myself in prison, and if you listen to these Daily Mail readers, they're going to tell you prison's too good for them, they get 3 meals a day and a TV in the cell. And that's all well and good, but the food shit is fuck all on. And you go through the monotony of prison, and you get out, and you want to change your ways, you want to better yourself, but people keep trying to drag you back into it, man, dragging you back into that lifestyle. Keep coming out with that same question. Well, what were you in for? What were you in for? And I got tired of it. So I just give them all the same answer now, killing the last nosy cunt that asked me that. What really baffles them at that point is not the threat of immediate physical violence. It's them trying to figure out I've been sent down for a crime I've not yet committed. Some minorities, I can tell I lost a few of there, didn't I? So you'll get it about 3 a.m. I'll give you my number, you can text me an LOL. Fucking hell, is it coming via Skype? You're on mute. I'm not one to blow my own trumpet, but I'm fucking awesome on the tambourine. Maybe the best there ever was. But like, I mean, I'm not a very practical man, but I'm still cashing in on one of my achievements from last year. Like, after a month of toil, hard work, dedication, I finally finished baby-proofing my flat. Did it on a budget, it's worked out quite nice. What I've done is I've covered the bottom half of all my furniture in barbed wire, and now none of my friends want to bring the noisy fucking kids around. There's the laughter of identification. Shortly after that, me and my partner broke up. I think she got tired of ripping her legs open on the beanbag. You know, like, I've been with this girl for a few years, and it started off great, you know. I mean, like, after the first date, like, she was dyslexic, and she sent me a message asking me what I wanted to do on the first date, and when I met up with her, she had a sick duck in her arms. It's first run out. That won't get a revisit then. But, you know, we used to share everything in the start. It was great. I mean, I remember one day, like, she developed a cold sore, and it was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to kiss her anyway, and we called it his and her piece. Like, I've been with her a few years, and it just started to go downhill. I mean, she was a big fan of text speech, and that does my head in at the best of times. And it got worse when she started screaming OMG in bed. I mean, it could have been worse. Lol. And so, like, it became apparent that we needed to have, you know, the talk. It's not you, it's me. I'm just fucking sick of you. But I didn't want to do that face to face because she was prone to violence, and I thought it's a bit callous of me to do it via text. So then what am I left with? And I've been doing a course at work about effective communication methods. I thought, okay, how can I use this? So I consulted my textbook and had a little call with my tutor and decided to break up with her by smoke signal. I set fire to her car. I think she got the message. But, you know, like, putting the onus back on me, it's like, I mean, I think I know the real reason why we broke up. It was like, I was very insecure, you know, sexually. I was very hung up on my size. I probably asked her like 2-3 times a week, am I big enough, am I big enough? And just once it would have been nice if she'd said yes. But like, I've done a lot of reflection over this stuff and realised that pretty much all insecurity is based in fear, and most fear lies to you. And I'm thinking, well, none of the girls that I'd ever slept with had said that I got a small cock or that I was shit in bed. And I thought, am I just making this stuff up? I'm like, well, I need the information outside of me. I need to get it from source. But it's a bit inappropriate of me going around like with a clipboard in my hand to all my exes going, bing bong, mind if I ask you a few questions? Well, I can't do that. I mean, I still owe most of them money. So I thought, well, what can I do instead then? So I take to the internet and I decided to open a TripAdvisor account. And every time I sleep with a girl, I send her a link and she can leave me a review. I've got a few of them for you. So Debbie from Baseford said, are they supposed to be that shape? 2 stars. Yes, Debbie, or at least one of them is. Michelle from Arnold said, his lack of skill was almost compensated by his sheer exuberance. 3 stars. That's right. Has potential, doesn't apply. That's my school report. What the fuck's that doing in there? Sarah from Bulwell said simply, no. 1 star. And Becky from Cartland said, not as big as it smells. 2 stars. So, I mean, that didn't leave me in a very nice place, as you can imagine. I ended up going into counselling, and after a lot of intense sessions, I finally got a diagnosis. I'm an insomniac kleptomaniac with coprophilic tendencies. And what that means is, I got tired of taking other people's shit. It wasn't an easy joke to write because I can't spell. But, you know, it just wasn't working out for me, and I'd had enough, you know, the breakup and the reviews, and it was all just really getting to me. I thought, sod this, I'm going to end it. I've had enough. But being the responsible man that I am, I decided to write a will. And I left everything that I owned to a local cat's home. About $5,000 in debt, because fuck cats. I've lost my transition. I've lost it. It's in there somewhere. It's rattling around in the back. But, I mean, that didn't garner any real results, evidently. So I turned to the bottle for solace. You know, and I remember a time when I used to be able to go out and drink safely. You know, I used to be able to go out to a bar, have a 2, maybe 3 drinks. Leave there at a reasonable hour, 10:30, 11 at night. Go home, get myself something nice to eat on the way. Get in, initiate disappointing sex with my partner. Sleep it off, wake up, shake off the headache with 2 paracetamol and go to work like none of it ever happened. But it just started getting out of hand. Those days came to an end, and it just ended up with me. Every time I went out, it ended with me in the cells praying that the blood on my shirt was mine and the shit on my shoes wasn't. And I was reckless in those times, it's true, but, you know, people used to respect me. They used to call me Sir. Sir, can you come down from there, please? Sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Get in the car, please, sir. Explains the shape. But, you know, I still go out to bars from time to time, you know, get something to eat. And when I was in one recently, and I went up to the bar and I said, have you got any Coke? And he said, is Pepsi okay? And I nearly drowned trying to snort a line of that shit. He gave me a straw. What did he expect? And it was shortly after one of these incidences where some fuckwit had blown up a load of people. And the news was on and that. And I heard a disembodied voice in the corner shout, yeah, they should bomb all Muslims. That'll sort them out. Completely missing the irony of his own statement. I said, you know what? There's a big difference between Islamists and extremists. And he said, and I quote, fuck off, you Muslim-loving pedo cunt. And it was reassuring for me to hear that. It was, because I didn't know that before then. I didn't know that I was a Muslim-loving pedo cunt. I mean, how embarrassing would it have been for me to find out later? Relief. But, you know, I like to challenge these injustices as they arise. And I said to him, you know, why don't you go and learn something? And he says, well, why don't you come and teach me? So I did. I ran off, leaving with a valuable lesson. Life's full of disappointments, mate. I'm trying to bring you in for a soft landing now. I realise I may have scarred a few of you. And so if you have been affected by any of the issues discussed at tonight's show, then please tell someone else, because I've got shit to do. I'd like to leave you on a more positive note for me. Leave you with a message of hope, humility, compassion. I was at work the other day and one of my colleagues said to me, you know, we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Maybe that means we should listen more and talk less. Profound. I said, yeah, that's an interesting point, Colin, but means you've got 2 legs and 1 head, maybe you should think less and fuck off. Good night.
Peskett! Now that's how you do a main share. Right, we're going to grab another 20 minutes and then we'll have your headliner on. Give yourselves a round of applause, though. You've been wonderful. Hello. How have you all been over this break? I've missed you so much. I love the cheeky smile from you, my love. Can you imagine how surprised I was when I found out I was like this all the time after sobering up? It's like, surely this should wear off at some fucking point. But yeah, bless. There's some of the things that I like back in the day. When I was drinking heavily, I hated it when people answered a question with a question. I asked my dentist once, I said, what's better, an electric toothbrush or a manual one? And he goes, what the fuck are you doing in my bathroom? Which, you know, was a surprise to him, surprise to me as well, to be fair with you. But yeah, I like this. We've got a lot of creatives on tonight. We've had a ukulele player. We're about to see a guitarist. Do you want to hear some of my poetry? Yeah. All right. Brace yourselves. White knuckle ride this. All right. We've got Theresa May not. Jeremy Corbyn out. Ooh. Tony Blair, war criminal. Yeah, that's the extent. I'm not a political stand-up, I'll be honest with you. I like to play it safe, because I don't like the idea of dividing my audience in half. You don't know what people's political beliefs are. I like to play it safe. So I'm going to tell you all about how much I fucking hate dogs. You see, Cat's loving that because earlier on Ian did shit on Cats, which kind of sucks. But what I love is the next gig that I've got on with Ian and Cat. Cat's headlining that one, so you get to shit all over Ian at the end of the show. That's fucking awesome. Right. Dirty protest as part of your set. I love it. Right. Are we ready for the headline act, ladies and gentlemen? I want to hear the roof. Well, see the roof be blown off by the pure applause that everyone's going to give in a second, because I'm going to say it one last time. Are you ready for your headline act? Well, put your hands together for the one and the only. It's Jon Long!
Should we give it up once as well? Your host, Tommy. Let's give it up for Tommy, shall we? Yes. He's been wonderful. How's everyone doing? Thank you for having me. My name's Jon Long, as Tommy said. That's my real name, Jon Long. Some people think it's a stage name because it kind of rhymes. My actual name, Jon Long. I've shortened it. My full name's Jonathan Longathan. You can call me that if you like. Or J-Lo, as my sister went with in the noughties, if you like. I'm from not too far away, from Lincolnshire. Doesn't deserve a whoop, you're quite right, yes. Bit of sympathy from you in the front row, I love that, thank you. It's where your vegetables are from, the Fens, that's where I'm from, yes, you're welcome. That's all that's there, don't go. I moved to London for Wi-Fi, more than else, and just to meet people. Also for employment, there wasn't any jobs in the Fens, so I went to London to steal one of the jobs, and I did. I stole it right under their noses. A good one too, I know, I shouldn't brag about it, times are tight. Found a job in a waste and recycling factory. Why am I talking up? The Tip. I worked at the Tip for a number of years. I was a tour guide. Yeah. Doesn't sound like a real job, does it? A Tip, yeah. School tours, I used to take. Imagine how thrilled those school children were to be taken to the Tip for a lovely day out. And it was old Stig here at the gates, welcome them in. Hiya. Recycling can be cool. It can't. Now, it's a genuine job, and the reason it exists, because I don't know, Nottingham probably doesn't have it, because how are you? You're quite a green place, aren't you? Good at recycling? Yeah. London, they're awful. And the stuff we were given was shocking. And I'm not talking about the wrong kind of plastic either. I'm talking about some objects we were given on the regular. Got so bad I had to write a song about it, a song called You Can't Recycle That. Okay. And, it'll be my first time this evening. All right. There are certain types of rubbish that don't go in the bin. Materials we can use again that we call recycling. Like paper, cardboard, plastic too, glass and metal tins. But sometimes people get this wrong and they give us other things. So I feel the need to clarify so that we can get things clear about some things you can't recycle we've received throughout the years. I want you to all bear in mind these are 100% genuinely true examples from London. You all bearing that in mind? Thank you. And don't shoot the messenger. That's quite important. Okay. You can't recycle dead cats. No. I shouldn't need to say that. And yet, at least 2 or 3 times a year, I've taken a 0 off that to make you feel better. Someone sends us a dead cat. Oh, Wandsworth. You can't recycle bullets. No. Or deactivated hand grenades. They look remarkably similar to non-deactivated hand grenades. Shat myself. And you can't recycle dildos. No. Seriously, we got lots and lots of those, and we don't know where they've been. And by that I mean we know exactly where they've been. So please stop sending us dildos. I'm not addressing you, as I said. I think you're an intelligent crowd. You wouldn't do such a thing. But in the late noughties in Wandsworth, it was something of an epidemic, let me tell you. Every other day it felt like. This was a pre-Blue Planet world, you see, where I think people just didn't even think about, where things go. Out of sight, out of mind. But they all go somewhere, and sometimes it affects you on a much more localised level that doesn't get the Attenborough attention. Do you know what I mean? Sadly, this next bit is a true story. I once had to take a tour group around the recycling centre. And the tour group comprised of 15 women in their 80s. It's a WI group and was stood at the conveyor belts. We were confronted by a dildo, yes. And I was forced to explain to all of them what a dildo was. And it's a very noisy building. They were hard of hearing. So I had to shout, it's a sex thing! To 15 women in their 80s. It's a real event from my lifetime. And in hindsight, they definitely knew what it was. They were playing me, weren't they? Like a cat with a mouse. It's cruel. Now, I normally end with a sing-along, but legally I'm not allowed to do them. Ooh, what a badass. What a rebel. Is he going to? I'm not. I can't do sing-alongs legally. I'm not allowed to. But what I will do to end the song is tell you something beautiful that happened over lockdown. We had to do our gigs over Zoom. It was shit, wasn't it? Yeah, awful. Trying to do comedy on Zoom? No, thank you. But one good thing happened. I did a charity gig, and it was brilliant because there was a sign language interpreter on screen for all of the acts. It's very accessible. And I did that song. Yes. Exactly. And meant there was a beautiful moment we all got to discover together the British Sign Language for dildo, and it's the best thing I've ever seen. So I'm going to teach you it now, because if we're not laughing, we're learning. I think that's important. Okay. You're going to need 2 hands for this. So you might put your drinks down. Ready, everyone? Thank you. First one, straight away. Thank you, pink hair. Love you. Never change. Okay, so this is the first. These dildo or vibrator. They are synonyms. So this is the first part of the sign, everyone. Why are you not doing? Come on. Very good. Okay, second part gets involved. Of course it does. Second hand touches the bottom of the side. As it does. There you go. That's wonderful. What a beautiful piece of language that is. Take that, pass it on. I'm telling everyone. Isn't that gorgeous? Some people learned Spanish in lockdown. This is all I did. Yeah, there you go. I want to learn now. That's all I know at the moment, so conversation's quite limited, but there you go. Does get you out of a surprising amount of situations. It's good to do some self-improvement in lockdown, yes. All my friends were trying to learn stuff, and I was just feeling terrible. I was trying to get better. My sort of lockdown resolution, as it were, was to try and get better for the environment. And then I immediately felt guilty and failing at it because of all the stuff I was ordering on Amazon. I'm starting to think that with the environment, we're rigged to fail anyway. Does anyone else feel like that? Yeah. Like Amazon especially, the amount of guilt I was getting from that. You know, they should be allowed to call it Amazon, should they? That's a bit on the nose, don't you think? Amazon, all these cardboard boxes I keep getting delivered with Amazon written across. I might as well call it deforestation and have at it, you know what I mean? And you have to log in. It's insensitive. Yeah. You're quite right. It's a terrible pun about logging, yeah. This man went, oh, yeah, a bit of dad joke for you, sir, there you go. No, but I was terrible. And all the things you have to give up for the environment are all stuff that you love, isn't it? Like flying or like meat, you know. Anyone else try to give up meat for the environment? No, why should you? Yeah, is that here? Did you try? A little nod, yeah. Is there any vegetarians in? Yeah, couple vegans in it. Oh, this is the best place for it. I'm loving this. By the way, the vegan coconut, very good, lovely. It's getting much easier to do now, but very hard. And I think, so how long have you been a vegetarian? Do you mind me asking, Kathy? Right, veggie 6. Hard transition, or were you okay? You did it in stages, I like that. That's good. Yes, I found it too hard. I'm not as strong-willed as Kathy, right? And so there's a whole new movement aimed at people like me, the fickle. Because what happens with me is the first bacon sandwich relapse, I'm like, can't be done, and that's the end of it. I refuse to believe it can be done. And so there's a new movement, which is good. It's called flexitarianism, okay? It's also, some people call it cheating. There you go. The whole idea being, if you can't be, you know, like Kathy, and cut it all out, if you can cut out 90%, that's still pretty good, right? Thank you. Okay. You nodded, and I love you for that. Thank you. And, yeah, sometimes don't be hard on yourself, because you don't know animal products in the thing often. This song's called Flexitarian. Okay. I met a very strict vegetarian. He told me he won't even eat Parmesan. He said in the process they use animal fat. But I'll still eat it even though I know that, because I'm a flexitarian, yeah. Not a vegetarian. Subtle differences. You nodded your head, so you knew that, yeah? So you don't eat Parmesan. Well, you're vegan. Well done, you see. Strong-willed. Courage of conviction. Some people won't even eat Haribo, 'cause there's gelatin in sweets like that, I know. I still will. I know it's weird. That is true. But so is not eating horses and using glue, and we still all do that anyway. So take a look in the mirror before you judge me. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? A lot of you look at me like, we don't still turn horses into glue, do we? I googled it, relax, we don't. But what's terrible is when I found that out, my instant reaction was, aw, and that's the wrong reaction to that news. I've got to rewrite my second verse now. What a terrible human being I am. But there you go. I'm a flexitarian, and don't you dare judge or say it's simply not enough. I think it's just good to cut back where I can, right? It's not much. It's just a little Haribo, some Parmesan, a Christmas goose, fat potatoes, and a tiny bit of ham, but that's it. It's still way less than before. Okay, that one time I had brisket in the restaurant when they got my order wrong. And I wanted to complain, but I'm British, so it came out as all that was delicious. Thank you so much. Here, have a tip. I hate myself, apparently. Another time I wanted Chinese takeaway. I ordered fake crispy duck, but they misheard me on the phone and delivered 8 crispy duck. And I still paid for it, ate 2, and then cried, and now I can't look at ducks anymore. Because it's like they all know what I've done. They sort of judge me with their duck eyes. But that's the day-to-day risks you run with being a flexitarian. Sexy flexitarian. Too far. But hey, I still don't eat fish, so at least I'm not a pescatarian. Straight away, orange shirt, I love you. Pescatarian. I'm not judging you, you're a pescatarian, by the way. I'm not judging anyone anymore, that's my new rule. Too easy, isn't it? We're all fickle, we all make mistakes sometimes. That guy at the beginning making me feel bad about eating Parmesan, fuck that guy, that's my new rule in life. I am not letting people like him make me feel bad about myself anymore. I could have judged him right back. Why didn't you tell me about that guy? He was a white guy with dreadlocks. Yes. And I didn't, some people judge those people, I don't. I'm sorry, just because you smoke weed, it doesn't always make you, Very good. It was the only thing I could think to rhyme. Sorry. Very good. Well done, everyone. Particularly you two for guessing. I love that. That's good. Thank you so much for having me, everyone. So as I said, I moved to London, and I kind of missed out a bit there. I said I went, got a job. I went there for university was the real reason. Well, for art school. I went to study art because, you know, I know how to make myself employable. Yes. And I chose London Met as well. Second worst university in the country. Thank you very much. Art degree from London Met, honestly. You should see the way potential employers look at me with that degree. Where'd you earn your degree? London Met. I may as well say in prison. Do you know what I mean? But there you go. And I found it a really hard transition. I don't know if any of you have moved from like a little rural place to a big city. But really caught me off guard. I don't think I was ready to be let off the leash either, like at 18. And like, you know, where your mum just leaves you and goes, okay, you've got everything, yeah? You know how to use the washing machine and the cooking. You know, I taught you how to do a stir fry, didn't I? Yeah, okay, brilliant. Is anything else? In that moment, you can't go, oh yeah, what about the darkness? The darks and the lights and the washing, you need to keep them. No, the darkness in my soul. The crippling anxiety I feel all over. What do I do about that? How do you cope with life? What do I do there? Nah, I'm just kidding, Mum, you go. Can't do that just as you leave the door. So I just looked to how adults around me dealt with adversity. And my mum, for example, went for a divorce, and how did she deal with it? By talking about her feelings? Did she, Buffalo? She is a emotionally repressed Scottish lady. White wine, that's what she went with, yes. So I went out to the shop, and I thought, I'll buy myself some wine. Ooh, £3 for a bottle of wine. Very, very reasonable. 2 for $5, you say, okay, you know, and it just sort of caught up on me. Also, no one really taught me about drinking because a lot of the etiquette and rules of drinking are kind of unwritten. There's not a book you can read. Do you know what I mean? Drinking for idiots. There should be. Because you never go, it's something you should be taught. I think the French do that quite well. And we don't do it very well at all. So, for example, like, I started drinking in the morning when I left home. And when I say that at a non-recovery gig, people are like, what? But that's an unwritten rule. That goes without saying you don't do that. Unwritten rule goes without saying. Now, the problem with unwritten rules that go without saying is people don't feel the need to either write them down or say them. And then idiots like me, who need things really explicitly written down or said, go out and do them. I started drinking in the morning. It made sense to me at the time. You wake up with so much guilt and shame about what you did the night before, you immediately start drinking to forget about it. Yes. Regretfast, I called it. Yeah, actually, give it a quirky nickname, makes it a bit less tragic, yes. And no one else was day drinking, but what I did notice is that actually sometimes it's okay. There seems to be certain loopholes where everyone else joins me for the day drinking. Does anyone know about these little loopholes where everyone joins us? Anyone? Trains are a good one, I will say that. Every time I got a train here, still trains are nostalgic for me, because you can just drink at any time on a train. People are like, that's fine. Casinos are quite good. Any others? Any others? That's it. She hit it straight away. Airports, the mecca of day drinking. Yes! I used to love the airport. I used to go there when I didn't have a flight. Do you know what I mean? Drink at 10 a.m. in peace. I let the other passengers play a fun little game. International jet-setting businessman on the red eye, or recovering alcoholic. What are you doing? You know, it's a tragic game, but there you go. I messed that up. I got the order wrong. Sorry. I used to do a lot of jokes about recovery, and I stopped doing it because it freaks people out, and I have to change, you know, and I stopped worrying about people's feelings too much. They're like, oh, you weren't too uncomfortable with my pain, so I stopped doing it. But I'm trying to remember them all, and my memory, turns out, is not good. So I do apologise if I fuck up some of the jokes. But yeah, you're quite right, the airport. And there was some more there, but for the life of me, I can't remember. Song, let's do a song. Because one thing, I noticed that some people were like telling me when I first stopped drinking about, you know, switching addictions, picking up other things. A lot of people turn to exercise, don't they? That's a really good way, because you get endorphins. One of my friends in AA recommended jogging. Any joggers in? Okay, good. There's only one. Okay, good. Good. That bodes well. She told me it was going to give me a natural high. Natural high. Well, I must have been getting the wrong shit. It made me livid, okay? It brought out the worst in me, it really did. And I wrote this song about jogging too soon after the jogging. I should have left some time to cool down, and I didn't. And I think that is immediately apparent, so I do apologise for that. But there you go. Oh, don't take it personally, if, like you said, jogging is your life or anything. It's just one man's opinion. Fuck jogging. Fuck it squarely in the arse. I'd rather dip my unprotected face in broken glass. Fuck jogging. Yeah, fuck it once and for luck twice too. And while we're on the subject, you can fuck brisk walking, that shit too. Fuck jogging. Yeah, it really makes me sick. And I can't work out why the people that do it seem so bloody enthusiastic. So while they're at it, and not you obviously, but fuck joggers, yes. With your tight running shorts. I preferred it when I didn't know the contours of your balls. Fuck joggers. And I don't care about your 10K. And if you think I'm sponsoring you again, you can jog the fuck away. Why am I paying for your hobbies? Although to be fair, I know sometimes it's for a worthy cause. Like for Linda at work. Poor thing, no, but seriously, poor Linda. 'Cause she's got a rare lung disease and she needs 14 grand for experimental surgeries. And they're only carried out in a practice deep in the Pyrenees. So to raise funds, we're all gonna go and run a marathon. Well, I'm sorry. Fuck Linda. It means I've got to run. I'm sorry you're ill, and I wish you the best, but if you think I'm gonna jog on. Fuck Linda. I mean, I really hope she doesn't die. Obviously, it goes that saying. I don't want her to die. She's a very nice lady. Stop looking at me like that. I don't want her to die. I'm just saying that if her getting the opera lies entirely on me running a lot, then she should kiss her lung goodbye. Yeah, she's gonna die. I've lost one or two of you there, I'm aware of that, by the way. Some of you are looking quite concerned about Linda. Can you relax? There is no Linda. She died, nor on the marathon. Real shame. Fuck jogging! No, there's no Linda. Thank you. No. But I just found this, basically, and I found that I get the same high off performing now that I just do. And it's quite easy. You can get... It's good. Just find a thing that you can be addicted to and it's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like sex with a consenting partner or stand-up. Or both. Not at the same time. But yes, it's good. And I love being here. This is wonderful that this place exists. Can we have a round of applause for a place like this existing as well? Because... I love it. Thank you, Jason, and all of you lovely staff. It's wonderful. And AA really saved me personally. I love it, and it's just so welcoming and lovely. And just the fact it's everywhere. I don't go as much as I used to, really. Now I go whenever when I feel like my resolve is going to be tested. Because I've been sober about 7 years now, and so I don't go as often as I used to, but I love knowing it's there. And the fact I know it's there is just the world to me. And the fact it's everywhere. And I've got like an app, and I can find out, oh, there's one, oh, brilliant, everywhere. The last time I went, actually, was in Scotland. I'd never been before. I've got Scottish parents and things. I went up to the Edinburgh Fringe. I've never been before. But the Edinburgh Fringe is a bit like a month-long trip to the airport, basically, where all bets are off, okay? Drink any time of day or night you like. It's very, very tempting. And I've got a lot of memories of good times there. Well, I don't have any memories, that's the point. But, and so I was up there, and it was my first time I'd been there sober, and I was really tested, and I looked at my app, there was one right 2 doors down. Brilliant. Went to the church and had a brilliant meeting. But it was interesting, it really played on my imposter syndrome. It's the first time I'd gone outside of the UK, and it was largely the same, but right, do you know sometimes there's a football player who's amazing, but they just can't make the leap to the international standard because it's just gone up that extra. What I'm trying to say is Scottish AA. Holy shit, okay. They're not messing around up there. I felt like a sort of just an amateur. They were like, oh, bless you, bottle of wine for breakfast. Oh, bottle of wine for breakfast. Should have said that's actually Alcoholics Anonymous, not Pussies Anonymous. That's next door, pal. Get to fuck. No, they didn't. They're really lovely. But that's what I found as well, is that I had incredible imposter syndrome. I really resonate with what you said. Can we have a round of applause for Kathy as well? Wonderful. I never get to see musical comedians. They never put 2 musical comedians on the same bill because they're worried we'll, like, I don't know, get our heads together and start some sort of crazy musical revolution. But it's lovely to see some. And you also one that took the time to learn how to sing. That is well done. I didn't bother doing that. And I really resonate with what you said about feeling the imposter syndrome of being young. Because I was sort of 26 when I stopped drinking, 25 rather, and I felt a lot of it. And going into it, I was like, they're going to laugh me out the room. But not once. The exceptional warmth of the community and the fact that they said, if you mess up, this is the first place you come, okay? Doesn't matter where you are. And not for an instant do they go, oh, you prick, you got out 20s. I'd love to got out of my fucking 20s. None of that. It's totally warm and beautiful. And so I love that places like this exist, and it keeps me going. So give yourselves a round of applause for being part of this wonderful community. And I am stalling for time while I work out the last joke. Yes, you're quite right. Didn't even fucking clap. He's like, I know you're stalling. You're quite right. Quite right. Quite right. That's what it is. Ha-ha. I'm on it. I think education's the key, right? I think it's really important. I like to put a bit of education in all of my sets. You remember? Exactly. I used to be a teacher, and it often comes down to all the problems in life, like I said, are a lack of education. And so I think we should see better education when it comes to drinking and things like that. Like, what are the other problems in society at the moment? Gender norms are changing, and one of the genders is not keeping up with the changes so well. Naming no names, men. And I think the reason we fuck up so often is a lack of education. Like, we're bad men without even realising it, do you know what I mean? It's really easy to be accidentally creepy and not know why, because we just thought Joey from Friends is our spiritual hero. Turns out you haven't got the charm to be a sex pest. It's quite tricky to pull off. But there you go. And so, as a result, like, we just didn't see these changes coming either. My sister had a very different education to me. Actually, and it was slipped in. It was like music was her education. She was listening to very different music to me, grew up at the same time. She was listening almost exclusively growing up in the noughties to American R&B groups like TLC and Destiny's Child. Are there any fans of that kind of music? Good. One person, good. Okay, that's good. That music felt like more than music to me. It felt like a public service announcement to women. Like there was a big meeting going on behind closed doors, very officially, chaired by Beyoncé, with a fabulous wig and a huge gavel. And she was saying things like, the new motion from TLC, no scrubs, we passed that motion, you know? Are we all paying our own bills? Excellent. And then the music disseminated that information, and as a result, a whole generation of young women could see what was happening and knew what to do. Where we were listening to Oasis and getting stoned, and trying to work out how you can walk simultaneously slowly and faster than a cannonball. It's quite hard to do. And just crawling up our own arse if you didn't learn a thing, did we? What I'm trying to say is, I wish we'd have grown up with slightly different music. I'm sure you can see where this is going. And you've been wonderful, everyone. I'm going to end with this song. Thank you for having me. It's been really lovely. Colin, can you handle this? Nigel, can you handle this? Dave, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this. Looking dapper, looking fly. Seen a girl, caught her eye. Dance over to where she is. Try to gauge her reactions. Don't be hasty, don't be bold. Don't invade her space at all. Don't be grinding up on her knee. You'll get kicked out of the library. We're in a library that whole time. And if you're actually in the club and want to ask somebody out, just make sure that you're polite. And if she says no, that's allowed. Read her lips. If she's nice and you like what you see, but she clearly thinks that you're creepy, back off and try to do so casually. Lower your sights, rethink your strategies, because I don't think you're ready for these gentlemen. I don't think you're ready for these gentlemen. I don't think you're ready for... Because the attitude to women's too conscientious for you, babe, yes. And when this band said babe, they've been doing so in a kind of postmodern RuPaul Yas Queen kind of way. Wouldn't it be patronising? Question, do you want to have sex with me? No. Well, I respect your decision. Now I'm going to leave. doesn't go without saying. And just because of the drinks you bought her doesn't mean that you have bought her. She's young enough to be your daughter. Let's be good men. I know there's good men. All the fellas who conscientious, throw your hands up at me. All the lads who can have ladies as friends, throw your hands up. Are you throwing your hands up? Oh, you're resting. Sorry, I thought you were throwing your hands up at me there. Sorry, you're scratching your face. Sorry. Can all the gents who keep them hands to themselves keep keeping your hands to yourselves? Charlie, you know your angels get equal pay. Well done, Charlie, for being an equal rights employer. Private investigation game, extremely male-dominated. Well done, Charlie, for hiring women in those roles. Very progressive for the 70s, Charlie. We see you, my brother. Because I'm a modern guy and I'm learning empathy, learning to stop grossly overstepping boundaries. I'm getting nicer, I'm being kinder, learning to express other emotions. It's anger. Everybody, I'm a modern... Too wordy for a sing-along. Quite right. Beyonce makes that look really easy. It's quite an acquired skill. My point is that I know there's good men. I know there's good men. Because our mamas taught us better than that. Thank you very much, everyone. Perfect. I was like, shit, is that right time? You've been absolutely lovely. Thank you so much for having me. My name's been Jonathan Longathan. I hope to see you again sometime. Bye.
Jon Long! Oh, this has been a fantastic night of comedy. Thanks to everyone for coming down. I just want to say a big thank you to Jeff for doing the vision, Rich for also doing the vision, Sound Between You, and Jason for allowing us to do this here, and the staff for keeping us all in food and non-alcoholic drinks. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. One more round of applause for the acts that you've seen tonight. You've seen Cosmic Cat. You've seen Ben Verhoeven. You've seen Ian Peskett. You've seen Jon Long. I just want to end it by saying that if it wasn't for my sponsors sorting me out, getting me into a position where I didn't have to get shit-faced drunk every time I came on the stage, because of my nerves, and because every time I did a good gig I had to drink and celebrate, and every time I did a shit gig I had to cry and drink at the same time and then wank and shit at the same time. I just thank you so much for him. He knew that I had to be in rooms to do comedy. I had to get used to being in pubs, which is kind of like saying you've got a problem with uranium but you're working a nuclear power plant. Thank you so much. He knows where he is. Anonymity prevents me from being able to tell you, but he knows that I love him so much, so give him a big round of applause. And every single one of you that is in recovery, that is sponsoring or is a sponsor or doing anything to keep yourselves in the centre of the boat, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. Thanks ever so much. This has been a fantastic night. Last of all, give yourselves a round of applause. Good night.